Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's sports. I'm your host, Reginald Turner. Today, I want to talk about a bold prediction that I had on the earlier show when I said that the Kansas City Chiefs would not make the playoffs. So, going into this weekend, they have a big game against Baltimore. They're 1-2. Baltimore is 1-2. This is basically an elimination game to the loser of this game. But Baltimore got a pretty easier schedule left than Kansas City. Kansas City still have to play 8 more playoff teams. They're 1-2 now. There's 3 games, 8 more playoff teams. That's the 11. Man, they got a tough, brutal schedule. Brutal schedule. And I just don't think I don't think they're going to survive even if they beat Baltimore this weekend. But if they lose to Baltimore and go to 1-3, this season is done. You know, they get their receivers back in a couple of weeks, but that's not going to make too much of a difference. When you 3 games behind, because you got to win the division. You got to win the division because you can't get a wild card. You really will be battling maybe Houston at the end. I think I got Buffalo winning their division, Baltimore coming back winning their division since Joe Burrow is going to be out till December. They got an easy division. Indianapolis should win their division. They have gotten off to a hot start. I'll get right back to that in a moment. And Chargers or Denver going to win that AFC West where Kansas City play. And you have to play them guys. You have to play your division in the non-divisional games. They're a beast for them. So I think they're dead. Another thing I want to speak about is there's been some talk about Eli Manning going to the Hall of Fame, maybe even compared to Russell Wilson. Folks, Eli Manning's career record was 117 and 117. Really? Who are we putting in the Hall of Fame? Average players? Of course, he won 2 Super Bowls, but I believe those defenses won. It's not like Eli did anything spectacular in those games. Their defense in them 2 Super Bowl runs that they had, they gave up 20 points twice. 20 points twice. I mean, they were straight hammering them boys was really getting after it. Besides the 117 and the 117 regular season record, Eli Manning threw 366 touchdowns in his career. Do you know he threw 244 interceptions? That ain't even a 2-to-1 ratio. That is horrible. That is horrible. Make a comparison, Russell Wilson threw 350 touchdowns and only threw 111 interceptions. They don't even compare. And if you're going to say Russell Wilson should get in because he only got 1 Super Bowl ring, Eli got 2, but Russell Wilson also was 1 yard away from having another Super Bowl. Some people said they'd have ran the ball, they would have scored. I'm a Patriot fan, so I don't believe they would have scored if they'd have ran the ball. But, he was 1 yard away from 2 Super Bowls. Granted, he might have had more had he not asked for, the money after his rookie contract. When you ask for that money plays a big role in sports. When you ask for that money, you had to go from $2 million a year all the way up to $24 million a year. Well, somebody got to pay for that, and they defense paid, and Russell Wilson haven't snipped the Super Bowl since. So I just think you should be careful. I always felt like Dak Prescott should have, and when he wanted the $40 million a year, I thought he should have said, give me $20 million a year and take the other 20 and make better players around me. Some people say that's ludicrous. You're not supposed to do it, but Brady did it. He got 7 Super Bowl rings. Michael Jordan did it. He got 6 championships. When you take less money, you let your team put money in other places where you need help. Since he got the $40 million, what have he done? Nothing. He hasn't won a playoff game. So if you take 20, if you take 20 for 5 years, that's $100 million. So 40 for 5 years is $200 million. You're not getting $200 million. That's what people not realize. The football contracts are not guaranteed. So by the time he get ready to get all of that annual money, they be asking him, hey, Dak, can you redo your contract? Can you redo your contract? Can you help us out? Give us a discount? So you're really not getting that money no way. But if you take the less than $20 million, you can make that up by winning. More playoff games you win, the more money you get paid from the NFL, not just your team contract. But look at Tom Brady. He gets $350 million right now from Fox because he's a winner. He got his name is out there. People like listening to him. They like saying his name. He is a winner. He gets $350 million from Fox. way more than what he made in football. So don't get too much caught up. Dak, give him a discount. Take some money back if you want to be a winner. If you make more money, hey, you America's team. They say they're America's team. I think America's team is in Foxborough, Massachusetts, New England Patriots. You know, America should be associated with winners. They are winners. Cowboys are losers. They're not, why are you America's team? You're a loser. But if you're America's team, you're the quarterback, you go to the Super Bowl, you're going to get a whole lot of endorsements. And them endorsements going to make up for that contract. Now, Michael Parsons, Dallas Cowboys defense. I know people had a fun week this week talking about how bad the Dallas Cowboys defense looked and how Michael Parsons would have made it better. I'm sorry, but Michael Parsons was on that defense 2 years ago when Frisco put 42 in 3 quarters. Michael Parsons was on that defense 2 years ago when they went to the playoff and Green Bay put 27 points at halftime. Remember what I was saying. One person is not going to make a difference when you have 11 people on the defense. If you got 4 people who can get after the quarterback, that's different. But you only got 1. So he's not making a difference. So if he was there last Sunday when Chicago whooped him, it was been the same thing. He's not going to make up. Trayvon Diggs is not that good. I'm sorry. Deron Bland is not that good. They got a lot of pick sixes, a lot of interceptions, all against bad teams. Whenever they played the good teams, they wasn't nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. You know what I'm saying? So don't get caught up in people talking all week on their shows. Well, see if Michael Parsons would have been. No, it's been the same thing. It's been the same thing. He was there last year. They didn't make playoffs. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Michael Parsons' team lost this week to the worst team in football. So he loses too. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get caught up in the hype. Thank y'all.